Thank you all for making the time to join us on today's webinar. My name is Natalie Taylor, and I'm a content marketing writer here at Feedvisor. I'm joined by Abhimanyu Saraf, seasoned Amazon expert and strategy and process advisor for Amazon marketplaces at Reconnect Commerce. Before we get started, I want to remind everyone that we will be sending out a link to today's recording, and there will be time for a Q&A at the end of the presentation. So if you have questions throughout, please enter them into the space provided, and we'll do our best to get to all of them. According to Feedvisor data, 50% of Amazon sellers utilize Fulfillment by Amazon, or FBA, as their primary fulfillment method. And this isn't surprising considering the countless benefits that the program provides. To start, your products become part of one of the most advanced fulfillment networks in the world. In 2019, Amazon operates over 175 fulfillment centers globally and is constantly integrating cutting-edge technology and robotics to optimize efficiency. Other benefits include Prime eligibility. Qualified FBA listings are Prime eligible and displayed with the Prime logo, which enables you to reach Amazon's most lucrative customer base. FBA offers flexibility around fulfillment orders. There's no minimum for the number of products you send to FBA, which can be particularly helpful during busy times of year like the holiday season. Amazon handles customer service and returns for FBA orders. This eliminates the need to hire and train people to work for you, and it grants you the time to focus on scaling your business. And lastly, the Amazon brand exudes trust to consumers. Having the Amazon name attached to your products through FBA conveys credibility. Shoppers know they can expect excellent customer service and rapid delivery, and as a result, FBA can lead to increased buy box share and conversions. However, despite all these benefits, there are a ton of nuances and fees associated with FBA. And the program can be deceiving when it comes to profitability. Today, we'll be outlining strategies to optimize your inventory planning and reduce FBA storage fees, steps to receive reimbursement from Amazon for customer damaged, lost, and missing inventory, how to identify short shipment receiving and claim the amount you're owed, pricing strategies for FBA versus non-FBA items, and loopholes around product weight and dimensions to help you maximize the value of your FBA fees. On that note, Abhimanyu, I'll let you take it from here.
Thank you, Natalie, for the introduction. Hi, everyone. Thanks for joining in today. Most of us do already use FBA. So as Natalie already discussed, let's look into the different ways where we can increase sales and also increase our profitability in FBA. Now, we'll start with the inventory planning and the storage fees. Since we all know that we need to have stocks in order to make a sale, it is extremely important that we do our inventory planning well. But having stocks just doesn't mean that we send everything that we have into FBA, because they do charge a very high inventory storage fee. Especially come Q4, the storage fees can go up to 3.5 times of the normal storage fee that you're being charged in the month of January to September. You can have a quick look at the table on your left and see that from October through December for the 3 months, especially for a standard size unit, from 69 cents per cubic feet, the charge increases to $2.40. That is a 348% of the normal. And similarly, in the oversized, it increases from 48 cents a cubic feet to 1.2, which is approximately 250. So it is extremely important that at all times you are well aware in Q4 what you're paying, else your bills for your inventory storage could eat up all your profits. So in a very quick note, how to control them is to send your inventory in small, frequent bullets into the FBA storage fulfillment centers rather than sending it once or twice every month. In September, remove all the excess inventory that you have, or which is like a dead stock, slow moving inventory, and later go and liquidate them. And lastly, when you do plan your inventory to send them several times a month, you have to make sure that you plan it well, because in the month of November and December, especially after Thanksgiving, it can take up to 3 to 4 days extra for Amazon to receive all your inventory. You should not miss out on sales during this period. Going to the next slide, we can see something other than the Q4 storage fee is the long-term storage fee, which is now chargeable once every month, provided your inventory has been lying there for more than 365 days. So yes, and this long-term storage fee can be up to 14 times the normal storage fee. Yes, you heard me correct, 14 times your normal storage fee. So if you are paying $1 for something that is being stored in the warehouse, you will end up paying $14 for it approximately if it is there for more than 365 days. And that's a one-time charge. So you have to avoid it at all costs, no matter what. You can quickly get an inventory report, I would say an inventory aging report from your Seller Central. One of the columns suggests stocks aged between 180 days to 270 days on a monthly basis. Make sure that you look at this report, take a note of all the stocks in that date range, and start liquidating. When I say liquidating, you have to reduce your prices by up to 20%, spend anywhere between 30 to 40% more on your CPC clicks. And if there's still some space and you are able to do it, give a 5 or a 10% coupon off. This highlights your products in all major ways, and you can liquidate very quickly, thereby increasing sales. We have a quick poll here. It'll be on your screen shortly. Thank you. We'll just quickly see the poll results. And how does FBA help? A quick BOA to increase sales, to increase profits. Most of the people answered increase both profit and sales, and very few said none of the above. So yes, we can see for most of us, it does help us increase both sales and profits. That's true. But then without a fail, you need to make sure there are more ways to increase both sales and profits. And that's how we're going to discuss further as we go ahead. Now, just some quick storage fees areas we'll touch upon is for your hazmat products, which might be dangerous or having some chemicals, restricted chemicals, or which are inflammable, they can be charged 1.5 times the normal storage fee. Keep that in mind. Keep a track of all length, breadth, height, that is the dimensions of all the products you send into FBA. And on a regular basis, once a month, check whether you're being charged correctly. Hope that you're not being overcharged. If you're being overcharged for your storage fees, as to the cubic feet of your products, open a case with Amazon. I myself, at many times, have got refunded hundreds of dollars every month for the storage fees. Periodically remove all damaged, unsellable, and unlisted inventory from FBA. Call it back. You can even automate this, and it can be done automatically and will come back to your warehouse or your registered office, wherever you say, once every month. Planning, cross-checking, optimizing the inventory at FBA can add up to 1% to your bottom line directly. 1% of profits can increase without any issues if you can just plan your inventory storage correctly. Just a quick example, a standard microwave which sells for $100 is going to cost you $3 to store for a month in Q4. So on that note, keep in mind to save as much space you can in Q4 because it's very expensive. Now, also, I just wanted to quickly touch on the inventory planning that you do. I know inventory planning is not easy, but on a quick note, I'll just say that you need to have a very good, robust, yet simple model. And when you're making that model on something like an Excel sheet, you need to consider things like average consumptions per day, standard deviations, service level of your suppliers, lead time, the safety stock that you need to maintain, the vendor lead time, the demand in the lead time, the reorder point, and the reorder quantity. If you can make a good Excel with all of this in place, you can get a very good inventory planning done right away, which will help you increase both sales and both profits. We all know that all sellers have their inventory at some point of time lost or damaged in the process of FBA. Many times the error is not at the seller's end. Amazon in these cases reimburses the sellers proactively, but some of these cases do get missed and the inventory is damaged and the money is lost. And many of us don't even know that is happening. What do? We should be checking different reports which are available on Seller Central and making sure that these reports are read well and claims that can be raised are raised. How do we do that? We are just going to see it on the screen. There are some inventory adjustment reports and there is a reimbursement reports. On the screen, you can see I've highlighted two different parts of the same SKU. One of 10th September, the other of 30th September, where sellable inventory went missing from a warehouse, from a fulfillment center, sorry. These 10 units which got misplaced on 10th of September can be claimed back from Amazon. You can raise a case after 45 days and Amazon has to Amazon has to reimburse you in case they're not able to locate your inventory. So make sure that you do download these reports, do have a cross check, and wherever you see there are gaps, you should go and open a case with Amazon. We have another poll here where we just had a similar one like before. Please vote so we can discuss more. Wow, we got more participation this time. To effectively do FBA, you need inventory management, price management, sponsored products management, all of the above. Everybody is mostly people have voted for all of the above. That's correct. You got it right. These are the only three things that we require to do FBA effectively, and the proper mix of all of them can help you achieve that. We are discussing inventory. We will shortly come to price management, something for sponsored ads. There are several other webinars we'll hold in the coming days for that. Thank you. Going to the next one. Lost and damaged. Now, we know that we send hundreds and thousands of shipments and customers return them. There's a high rate of return due to Amazon's easy return policy. With the now with the shipments being sent from air, from land, different various transportation methods over long distances, sometimes customers misuse them. There is a very high chance of your inventory getting damaged, or your inventory, when it is returned back, is not added back to your actual inventory. So the customer is getting fully refunded, but you're not getting back your unit. What do you do in these cases? The damaged inventory or for the lost inventory? Well, the two quick reports you need to download, and it's just shown on your screen where to get these reports from. You can do a quick pivot table, compare the two different reports, and get your money back. I know it sounds simple. Just let's look how can you do that. Now, after doing the two different strategies that we just discussed about damaged inventory, lost inventory, there's more to it. And this is where most of the people do not realize where the inventory has gone missing. I know a lot of sellers who send huge amount of inventory very regularly into FBA. Now, when you're sending 1,000 units into FBA, does Amazon always receive all the units that you've sent? Go back and check. Sometimes they do not receive all the units. What happens? They receive, in this example, you've sent 1,000 units, they receive 980, 20 units were short. If it's a $100 product, $2,000 gone out of the window. There's a good chance Amazon in the past has short received inventory that you sent. So in order to manage this, regularly check the Manage FBA page. Check the two columns, shipped and received. If there's a difference between the shipped and received, compare it to your records. Have you actually shipped what is shown? If there is no gap from your end, then raise an issue with Amazon and get reimbursed. You need to have a minimum of 45 days before raising a case file, and within a maximum period of 180 days, you need to raise it and get your reimbursement back. Next, how do you do that? I've just highlighted a part where you can see there is 1,000 units shipped and only 967 is received. What happens to the remaining 33? In this case, it was lost. And yes, Amazon has actively reimbursed back for all those 33 units. You can even share your invoices if you're getting the reimbursements lower than what you have anticipated, and Amazon will reimburse you fully for it. It's very easy to do it. On the next screen, you can just click on the shipment, go to the place where it says reconcile, and where the SKU is there, where it shows the mismatch in the number of units, you need to just click on that and file your case. A case ID will be allocated to it, as you can see here. And against that case ID, within a few days after Amazon does their pretty good job of comparing everything, they will reimburse you. Regularly checking for all these cases and filing a reimbursement ticket with Amazon, you can get back up to 5% in your bottom line. I have worked with many sellers, and one of the sellers whom I still do work with, a $2 million monthly FBA sale, and still between $20,000 to $25,000 of reimbursements come in every month for them. That is 1% of the sale value, not even the profit value, 1% of the sale value coming in every month. Just imagine, this is the amount you can use either to discount your products or use it in sponsored ads to increase your sales. The third poll is here. Please select your answers and let's see what we have. Which year did Amazon start FBA for the sellers? That's a nice one. I know some of you might be looking up Google right now and checking the answer. Okay, so the different answers, the maximum we've got is in 2010, but if I recall, it was actually started way back in 2006, if I'm not wrong. I'm not sure myself. I got to look that up. But yes, it's not 2010, though I think which most of you have answered. Right. Thank you. We'll go on to the next slide. Now, pricing your product, FBA versus non-FBA. Pricing your product always doesn't mean pricing it correctly for your customers. Pricing your product means understanding what are your cost centers, what are the areas, which are the different costs that go into your product, and then getting your price correct. If you get your price wrong, it is going to be a disaster. You're not going to get correct sales and you're going to make losses. So quickly looking into this graph, into this table, you can see cost of the product remains same for both FBA and non-FBA. Shipping to the fulfillment center. For non-FBA, it doesn't count because it's going to be in your own warehouse. But yes, for FBA, it is going to be chargeable. In most cases, sometimes the suppliers ship it for free. Shipping to the customer. For non-FBA, it's usually higher. In FBA cases, it's usually lower. You need to consider the storage fees, the operational costs, the returns management fee, or any other different kind of fee that you think you've not counted or associated. In totality, check for all the fees, even the selling fees or the commissions that Amazon charges. Please include them in your calculation and then price your product correctly for the customer to buy it. Do not make an error here, else you will lose big money. Lesser known charges there are in FBA. Removal fees. When you remove your dead stock or aged stock from Amazon and calling it back to your warehouse, all of that is being charged. You can see it in your financial settlement reports and see the charges that are there. So please make sure that you account for these fees. Preparation charges. Amazon has a lot of norms before you send your inventory to the fulfillment center. They need you to label it and sometimes polybag it, tape it. It depends on the product. There are different variations from 10 cents a unit going up to $3 a unit. So make sure that you know what the costs are and reduce it to the minimum if possible. Disposal fees. Products that are damaged or you don't want to be called back need to be disposed. And yes, even for disposing the product, Amazon charges you a fee. So already you're making losses by not calling back the products. And now you've got to pay more to dispose them off. That's a pain. And lastly, negative removal. If you are doing FBA, this is a good thing. If you're getting a negative for service or for late delivery or for most of the areas which are not related to your product, you can get the feedback removed. That's a very major plus point. Stay positive in your customer feedback. The last of the quiz here, and looking for maximum participation. Which kind of seller is FBA best suited for? Wow, a good amount of participation, and we see it's a mixed answer, but yes, some say small sellers, some say big sellers. Big brands, barely any participation there, and almost a very high number for private label also. Well, there's no one answer to it. I think everybody can benefit from doing FBA provided you know the costs that are hidden, you know how to take out the profits, and thereby increase the sales. Maximizing FBA, this is the last that we'll be seeing before we end. And how do you maximize your FBA with these last final points? Heavy items. Now, if you have any items which are more than 20 pounds or volumetric weight more than 20 pounds, start considering them not to do through FBA. The sweet spot lies between 20 to 25 pounds, where FBA shipping starts becoming much more expensive. So if you compare your UPS or FedEx shipping for a 40-pound product vis-a-vis the FBA shipping charges, you will see your FedEx or UPS charges will be much lower. So yes, keep that in mind and try and see if you can keep these heavier items in your warehouse and fulfill them from there. Fulfillment fees. Sometimes the fulfillment fee per item changes without notice. You need to keep that in mind. Keep a tracker Excel ready with you and make sure that once in a month you compare the actual charges you should be charged and what is being invoiced to you. Keep the comparison going every month, and sometimes you will see Amazon is charging you more than you should be charged. You need to open up a case with Amazon for that. In one case where I was charged, I had got back in a single case more than $1,700 just from raising one case with Amazon for one single SKU, where the fulfillment fees were charged more than normal. Small and light. When planning a FBA private label, uh, design the packaging in such a way that you pay the least FBA fees. Make sure that your product can qualify for the standard size and not going to be oversized. There are all the size, length, dimensions, weight, all of them are available as a ready reckoner on all the Amazon Seller Central areas. Do look into them or get back to me and we can discuss that later. Direct from supplier to FBA. This is an area where you can save a lot of dollars. Many. Most of the suppliers are prepared to send your inventory directly into FBA. So rather than taking it to your warehouse and reshipping it to FBA, delaying it by a week and adding capital costs and adding more handling and adding more storage and everything, just directly tell your supplier to send to FBA and save dollars and time both. On this note, I would like to finish from my end, and Natalie, I would request you to take over from here. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Abhimanyu. And to everyone, for more information on Amazon FBA, you can download a free copy of our ebook at the link provided here. This guide includes the key differences and the benefits of FBA, FBM, and SFP, a breakdown of how many Amazon sellers are utilizing each fulfillment option, overviews of specific FBA programs like FBA Small and Light, and how to determine which fulfillment method is right for your business. Now we'd like to dig into some questions as part of the Q&A, and we also have a brief poll that you should see on your screens now. As always, if you'd like to learn more about any of the ongoing initiatives we have here at Feedvisor, or if you're interested in learning more about Reconnect Commerce, please connect with us. All right, now let's get into some questions. So first question, Abhi, how many inventory turns should there be in a year for products in FBA?
Okay, that's an important one. Usually for a good profitability and good sales and to take out all the effective margins or the profits that you need, there should be anywhere between 10 to 12 inventory turns. That means you should sell your inventory maximum within 30 days. that will give you, if you sell your inventory every 30 days, that will give you 12 turns, and which is very good.
Okay. What determines standard size versus oversize?
Standard sizes are basically smaller units which weigh, I think, less than 2 pounds. And on the dimension side, there are some specifications that it should be less than 12 inches on the higher side and 8 inches on the on the medium side. So yeah, you can also go on to Amazon and just say standard size and oversize and get the comparison chart between them. Basically, uh, standard size are cheaper and more quicker to ship. Oversize are more expensive to store and more expensive to ship.
Okay, next question. Does the 15% Amazon fee taken from the product price and shipping, or only the product price?
As in the selling price, I'm presuming here when it must be. So yeah, so if you're selling a product for $100 on FBA, you're going to pay 15% off the $100, and obviously is going to reduce 15% from that as their commission. I'm presuming, and they are going to further reduce the FBA charges from there on.
How do you increase your seller ranking on the product page with FBA and non-FBA products?
Okay. The seller ranking on a page depends on a lot of different factors. One of the factor is definitely is how many sales is happening, or also how many people are visiting the page, and effectively what is the volume that is being generated, the volume of business that is being generated. So there are many factors. Definitely, if it is a FBA product, you can get the Prime badge, which gets more and more people onto your page with a non-FBA product. For a non-FBA product that you are selling, you definitely want to look at sponsored products that can help you get more traffic onto your page and then convert them. So getting more traffic, getting more conversions, both increase the seller ranking on your page.
Next question. For a removal of a damaged product, is it just 75 cents per item, or does Amazon charge shipping?
Right. They do charge a fixed fee per item, irrespective of what the size of the product is and where it needs to be shipped. The charges are just standard, as you mentioned here, 75 cents per item, but this charge changes from time to time, at least once every year. So at present, it may be standing at 75 cents. Previous year, it was at 50 cents. So you need to check the charge, but yes, they do not charge any other shipping over and above the removal.
How do we track items that come into Amazon? They check in as received, but they never add to our inventory. It just disappears. How do we track that without having to look at every single item and every single shipment?
Well, the best way is to track them manually through every single shipment. But there are different reports on Amazon where you can download whatever the inventory is being sent into Amazon and that is being received are available in the report section of Amazon. There is a historical inventory report which suggests all the inventory that has been come into Amazon across all the FCs. You could definitely look at that report, and that single window can tell you all the stocks that have come in. But you also need to keep a track of what you've been sending from your end to do the comparison.
How does FBA help in increasing the effectiveness of a sponsored campaign?
Right. Now, that is That is pretty simple. It's if when a customer is coming onto your product page, they are expecting a good service, a good price, a genuine product. Now, when it is backed by the tag of FBA or Prime, it automatically increases the customer's confidence in the product. And you're doing the sponsored ad, you're getting the customer onto the page, you have the Prime tag, that definitely increases customer confidence, and and that makes it the best scenario to get a sale.
Okay, we have time for one more question. What is the trigger for a seller to start considering FBA?
Okay. That's a tricky one, but most of the times over the years, I have seen that sellers could start with FBA. Like from day one, they could start doing FBA, but a large portion uh, of their catalog still sits in their own warehouse or offices. As soon as you are able to make sure that you know all the areas of FBA where you could lose money, you could cover them up, you can start shipping all your products into FBA. Usually that starts at the point around $30,000 to $40,000 of sales through FBA per month is when you can start considering a major shift into FBA rather than merchant fulfilled.
All right, Abhimanyu. Well, thank you so much for joining us. We really appreciate your time today. And thank you to everyone listening in. As a reminder, we will be sending out a link to the recording shortly. And for anyone whose questions we didn't have a chance to get to today, we'll be sure to follow up with you. So with that, please feel free to reach out if you're interested in learning more. Thank you and enjoy the rest of your day.